Hello! Hi, how are we doing? Welcome to round 9 of the Artemis Esports Championship. We are here for the Portuguese Grand Prix, sort of concluding our second third of the season, even though they aren't. It isn't possible to dissect a 14-round season into thirds. But besides that, one more race before a break week, and alongside me for this one is Mr. Tom Knepp. Welcome back to Tier S, and thank you for being alongside me.
Hello everyone, I hope you're all well. Today I am Joseph's little bitch. I am going to do as he says, and I'm going to be the best co-commentator you've ever seen since Tez in Tier 1.
Yeah, it is a pleasure to have you back, of course, with all the knowledge the game and the AEC community could ever want. Besides that, we have a lot to discuss because Stewart's inquiries came in since the last round in Monza, and it means that Bunga Racing Team, for the first time this season, lead the championship by 2 points. That is because a 3-point deduction was handed out to Nick and the Novus Racing Team for contact with the FG driver of Treyarch. He didn't finish, therefore it is a conversion directly from the penalty, so it would have been 3 seconds. He gets 3 penalty points. Bunga Racing Team have the lead, and how crucial could that be to their confidence?
It is. I don't want to say it's a 2-horse race, but I think it's a 2-horse race. Bunga have kind of come out of nowhere. Look at them last 3 results: 18 points better than NVR, 35 points, and then 30 points. They've been putting NVR to the sword in the past 3 races.
Yeah, obviously NVR will say, "Oh, we've not had Bowman in," or their main sources of points from the early round of the season. But Nick, I mean, the whole internet thing, and just not being consistently having too many races. I mean, by the way, what a performance he put in for that second round in the PSGL versus WR thing on Monday, by the way. So we can't just attribute all that, but. Besides, Bunga Racing Team have the lead. They've got Furious in tonight. They've got another brilliant wingman, and I don't want to say wingman because that sounds really harsh on Carsey tonight, but, ADEF won her, picking up that podium as well in P3 with a photo finish ahead of Placky. Just unbelievable for the team.
Yeah, it's Furious. I am just going to throw it out there. Mr. Furious has got chance here to make history, and he's got 2 chances to make history. If you'd like to just send me another invite, Joseph, while I go through the stat. Basically, Mr. Furious, along with Andrea as well. Is Andrea racing today?
No, not tonight.
No. So Andrea and Furious are the 2 drivers who make history with winning together every tier. But Furious can also win 4 races in a row, which has never been done.
Yeah,
Can he do it?
I mean, it's mental, innit? 4 races in a row. The only 2 drivers to have done that, Rusty and Wilson, both last season. So we aren't counting that round 9 sprint, by the way, in Monza as a race win because it's not the actual race. Anyway, I'm going to cut to the main screen now, Tom, because I'm not sure if you've seen since lagging out, but it's pissing it down. It is definitely pissing it down. We're going to have some full wets on here, and it's going to be one of the best qualities of the season. And Zach is saying in the chat, Kiwi is saying in the chat, we've got the same in the bloody race!
Oh dear. You just send me another invite as we
Another
get
one.
back in. This happens every single race. I have not had a race where I've done comms where I have not at the start. It happens once, every single race, and then it doesn't happen again. Why that happens, I couldn't tell you. But that is my dealing with Codemasters. Wet quali, wet race. How long have we got here? This could be a long one.
It could be a long one. I might need to top up a drink at some point, so that's nice. We'll definitely have a restart. You just know there'll be grid penalties for everybody, but that's a different topic. Kiwi also saying it's drying up in the race after 40 minutes, so I mean it could be a dry sprint to the finish. So I mean, surely you've got to go for a wet setup here because of how much is raining.
You'd think so. You really would. But will they? Because how quickly can you your load of wet setup if you've not already got one saved, because we have got drivers out on track here. Mr. Easton, formerly known as, well, I think he's always been CRF1, but he was AEM at one point in his career.
And PR Jack L there, retiring from the session. That's a qualifying ban. And I'd like to say welcome back to Jack L, because he's not raced in a very long time. I know he had some throttle pedal issues. He joined TF10 as a manager and driver on October the 3rd. He was meant to race for Parnell Racing in round 1 of this season on August the 23rd, but it was the aforementioned throttle pedal issues that has set him back a couple of months. So hopefully this is the start of a turnaround for him and to finally get some form back on a game that he looked strong on at the start of the cycle.
What are the chances around this track that teamwork for quali is going to be implemented? Because I'm looking at the teams that are coming out here, and only Bungle have come out in unison. Are they going to try and get a little bit of a slip down the straight? Is it going to help them at all? I don't know.
Pacino says, W weather for viewing. I agree. I mean, this is going to be comedy at times. I mean, apparently it's going to go full wet, inters, possibly slicks at the end. So, God, this is going to be so good. Balera Fox says, I'm mad. Well, I wouldn't be, considering how much exposure your tweet got earlier for standing up and doing that lap. That's the norm for him, by the way. We've already seen an invalidation for Lucas. Let's see how his teammate, Ogween, approaches the first corner. He's left a lot more on the table there. It's just about dining in this first part.
I assume also most of these drivers are fueled for a few laps. Your quickest lap is obviously not going to be your first in these conditions, so expect a few of these drivers to be doing 3 to 4 laps, possibly, on these set of wets, making a bit of a dry line. If it does clear up a little bit by the end, you might see a couple of them on the inters, but at the moment, there are so many puddles, you'd think it's a non-league game.
It is. You'd think it's Storm Babette, and, well, we're in the southernmost region of Portugal. Known for its tourism, its sunshine, its beaches, and it's like this. It's unprecedented, really, but thank you, F1 game weather gods, for giving us a bit of unconventional entertainment tonight. Still on board with Ogween as he tiptoes his way around the lap. Nowhere near full speed, of course. Easton, your first car across the line with a 1 minute 30.7. Bit of a snap of oversteer there coming out of turn 13. He's got 2 more right-handers to come at 14 and 15. FRT Harvey has gone over a second quicker at a circuit that he loves. And Ogween has just had a massive, massive slide coming through the final corner as well. Can he go any quicker though? He does. So these cars right on edge, and Ogween has got the upper hand.
They're all starting to come out now. I'm just on board with the good old Furious, and he's matched Ogween in the first sector. Ogween there with 29.2. Let's see what Mr. Furious can do as he's into sector 3 now. Very, very steady on the throttle. Easy to spin it, as we did see previously. I think it was Venom. And there's another yellow flag going now. Drivers letting other drivers go through. I think there's a Haas gone round your counterpart there, sir. Anyway, Furious, is he going to topple Ogween's time of a 29.2? No, it's a 29.8. He's obviously lost a lot of time in the middle and last sector and goes into P3 ahead of his teammate.
Advantage NVR then in the first little bit of qualifying. Lucas is invalidated for a second consecutive lap. So we're starting to see here who hasn't practiced in these conditions, or rather is just experienced. I think David had an invalid lap there. The last time he raced, I think he finished 4th or 5th, I think, in Silverstone. So, you know, in terms of AEC form, it's a long time between the 2 rounds, but he's coming into this on a fairly high note. ESV Bobberts, who's had a bit of a Forza Motorsport distraction in recent weeks, is still fresher than ever at his youthful age. Oh, sorry, wrong driver, wrong notes. Anyway, Bobberts ran to the final corner. He won't have DRS to open up. He'll rise over the crest and cross the line with a 1 minute 30.395. Big skill gap at this point. You would expect that for pretty unfamiliar conditions.
So half the grid of set times, half of them are still out on their laps. The only driver in the pits at the moment is Harvey, and Mr. Joseph is on his way out. He is now out the pit, so it's just Harvey who is in the pits, along with the retired car of Jack. Mr. Ogween coming round again. Looks like he's gone for an out lap, going for another hot lap. Harvest his ERS, and he's going again. So as I said before, a lot of these drivers fueled for multiple laps, and same with Furious is also staying out, and he's going to be going for another lap. He's currently on another lap. He comes to the line, stays in P3, and it does improve by about a tenth.
Lucas finally on a valid lap at the moment. David now round to the final corner. Important to watch that ERS, actually. It is going to dip below 10%. Drivers want to avoid that on their flying laps to avoid the D rating, but he has flown up the order and into 6th place. It's not bad at all. McLaren crossing line, that was Nico. He's gone 11th. 4 cars still yet to set a lap in this session. The next one around will be Lucas, I do believe. So is it going to be third time lucky for the man from Lincolnshire? As well, he's going to be fairly used to these conditions from a real life standpoint. I've never known a day where it hasn't rained every time I've been up to Lincolnshire, but here he goes then, up to the line, 60% left on the battery, and he's flown up into P11. Everybody now out on the circuit as Harvey rejoins for an outlap.
Everyone now out on laps. Look how busy it is all over the circuit. There's yellow flag in sector 2. That's a McLaren going past, and that was Mr. Nico's, who is 3/10 up in his time after sector 1. Expect big improvements all over the track here, and this is going to be fast and furious to the line, and expect pole time to come in the last 10-20 seconds. We're probably going to miss it, Joseph.
Yeah, we are. I mean, like you said, they're just going to be circulating a lot of fuel in the car. Now, I can't remember with the wet tyres. I think they get 2 for quali, at least a short quali anyway, but I don't know if they get an extra set of full wets for the race. Someone's going to have to dial in with one of their drivers and check that for me, because if they don't, then they might have to run a used set at the start of the race. I'm not quite sure how it works, but Nico is up to the line. I'm pretty sure they get a fresh set, and he's gone and joined his teammate on row 4 at the moment. TTM's Tez has requested a fact, and our provisional pole sitter at the moment, Ogween, hasn't finished lower than 4th in the 4 appearances that he's made this season.
That is a good stat, that, off the top of your head. That is very good. Mr. Furious out on, I believe it's his 4th lap now. Yeah, he's done 3. He's currently on his 4th lap. A lot of drivers now also on their 4th lap. There's an Aston Martin facing the wrong way. No, it wasn't. It was Ogween slowing down to let cars past him. So Furious down the time after sector 1. He was a 10th down. I think he's going to back out of his lap. That'll be the end of his lap. Carsey also entering sector 3 now, very close, and see if he's up and down in his time. Comes to it, and Carsey, he's up in his time ever so slightly. So not mad improvements, but an improvement's an improvement.
It is indeed. Carsey then will be officially the next car to cross the line. Bobbitt's gone 6th there, by the way. There's a big gap behind to Carsey. Then comes his teammate Furious, as we all know, looking for that 4th consecutive race win. Almost over the white line there for Carsey. We get a brilliant angle. You can watch on there with track limits, but the game is pretty objective about it, and we don't have to wait 3 to 5 business days to get a decision. Carsey crosses the line, improves to within half a tenth of his teammate, who actually darts into the pit lane there. Harvey up to 2nd. Let's see how his 2nd sector split is looking. He's still pushing, now losing a lot of time out there as well. So momentum clearly very key. Ogween crosses the line. That was another cool down lap as he builds to go again. It is going to be difficult to find time in these conditions. A lot of drivers now sort of halfway into this session abandoning, going back into the pit lane, and will probably bolt on a fresh set of wets.
I wonder how many laps Ogween has actually fueled for here, because yeah, as you said, then he's gone for another out lap, and now he's on a hot lap, as said, 29.2. He's currently 2/10 quicker than Harvey. Can Ogween further improvement here on these used wet tyres? And the answer is probably yes, he can. Mr. Ogween, as you said, very consistent in TRS, and currently the pole sitter. And there's only a Red Bull ahead of him, bit of clean air for him. Can Ogween get into the 28th? First drive into the 28th.
Could be indeed. No sign of this rain easing at the moment. Still a very persistent intensity. You get the Met Office flood warnings out. Oh, I'm sick of them. Anyway, that's a purple middle sector as well. 0.182 up. And as he said, another 10th could have him into the 1 minute 28. Still got that Red Bull in front of him. Shouldn't be too much of a distraction, as Well, they are both on flying laps at the moment, so there wouldn't be any impeding inquiries either. So, Ogween, it's down to you then for the final corner. We saw him have a big slide earlier on. That was a lot more planted for the NVR driver, and he's absolutely smashed that final sector, adding a further 5/10 between him and FRT Harvey. That's an 8/10 advantage overall now. Stunning.
If you flick to tyres, Mr. Joseph, you'll see something.
Wow.
Mr.
Wow.
Lucas might be thinking about coming out on the intermediate tyre, and with the improvement that Ogween's just done there, it will suggest that getting quicker out there. Does that mean that it's intermediate tyres? Well, if you look at it now, everyone's starting to flick them on. There's at least 5 of them. The 2 Bunga drivers also, they're not putting them on. Actually, no, I say that. Lucas has now come out on them intermediates.
Well, hello. I mean, he's got time here. He's got 4 minutes. He can start a flying lap, see how it goes, and then, you know, if he's onto something, then maybe recharge the battery and leave it right until the end of the session where the track is going to be at its best. But, you know, Ogween's just put all that distance between him and Harvey, who's now back up into second, reducing that gap a little bit. But it might still not be the quickest of the times, and he'll be seeing what other drivers are doing and might well react and go in
Placky, Joseph.
for the intermediates. Oh my word, Placky, yep. I think it's time for Inters. I think it's time for Inters with how quick these times are tumbling.
Just on board with Placky, it's like 1.8 seconds up in his time. It's like, what? But yeah, very good lap indeed. Who is going to be the first Inter to start a lap? It is going to be Lucas. So definitely keep an eye on him. I expect the drivers ahead of him to come into the pits. Looks like there's an Alpine stayed out for another lap.
It's a TTM 1-2. It's Josh Gilly.
So here goes Lucas then, starting his lap. Is it Inters? You'd suggest it is. More than half the grid now putting Inters on, and Lucas starts his lap.
Back in the NVR camp, looking to be the man that injects just that bit more firepower to try and get NVR winning the AEC Tier S title. But can he deliver a vital lap here? He is the first one out on intermediate tyres, so he won't have the best of the conditions, but it'll be a major benchmark to all the other guys out there right now. And he's 7/10 up in the first sector. It's a good call, Mr. Lucas, but have you timed it right? Time will tell as he rounds turn number 5 then. He might have another go after this one. But he won't have the ERS to maybe make it an effective lap time. There's a Williams in front of him. Will he get out of the way? Yes, he will. Just parking his car there on the left-hand side. Another lap there for TTM Placky. Still circulating on the wets. That's his session done, by the way. So that is the time they've all got to beat. A 1:27.622. There's going to be a mixture of wets and intermediates come the end of this session. Lucas, though, still with 2 more corners to go. 14 and 15 still to come here. He's avoided all of that outlap traffic that's now circulating in the first sector. Hopefully no grid penalties to come, but Lucas with 1 final corner to go. He's got now AlphaTauri in front of him. Still a little bit light there. Over that crest, up the hill, towards the line. NVR Lucas to pole. Intermediates, 100%, undoubtedly the quicker tyre.
No one who went into the pits to come out on their final run has come back out on the wet tyre. Everyone on the Inters, and it is going to be fast and furious to the line here. You'd expect Gilly and Placky, they're going to drop down the order. They might not even get themselves into the top 10 come the end of classifications here. Keep an eye on that one. Drivers though do to keep an eye on. Mr. Furious looks like he's trying to find a nice little bit of wiggle room in behind that McLaren. His teammate also doing the same. This is where it gets nitty gritty. Who is going to get the lap as Trey goes on pole currently with a 27 flat.
Oh, I love this, seeing loads of different teams have their moment and go on to pole position. The next car, by the way, is the car that's last. It's Van Tomasi for... I can never remember. It's ETE, isn't it? It is ETE. Round in the final corner. Oh, it doesn't go quicker. And he misses out by about half a second. That's a shame. Easton invalid at the moment as well. Simba Rocks 2.3 seconds up as well at this stage. FRT Nico still to come. David round in the final corner to complete an outlap. The car behind him, I think is still an Alpine. It's Josh Gilly. He's still going on the wet tyres. He improves still to third. It's still right on the crossover. And Josh Gilly has committed, but Nico has gone better by 9/10. Advantage now to Future Racing Team. And Simba Rocks 1 brings FGE second and third. Shazoo Venom misses out. The checkered flag has fell. These are the final laps for everybody out there at the moment, with the next car to come. ESV Bobbert 2.5 seconds up and will be improving at every single corner. What can the old man do? Round in the final corner, can he join his teammate up in the top 3 at least, or maybe even pole position to the line? Bobbitt's third. It was in the top 3, but it's not enough.
So Bobbitt's one of the first drivers to finish their session, and the last driver to finish their session will be Venom. Venom, the last driver there, look at the absolute car park in front of him, so keep an eye on Venom, because he has got the best conditions. He is the last driver, but he has got a lot of traffic in front of him. There, yeah, it's not going to help him, but back on board with probably the title protagonist here, Furious. 3 seconds up on his time. It could be him. It could be any one of them, to be honest. Mr. Furious, though, coming around the final corner soon, Joseph. I think he might be doing it.
Yeah, let's see. We've seen some more improvements from Placky. Still on the wet tyres. Major gamble from TTM. Maybe starting to backfire now, but still in a good position. Furious, though, goes quickest by 7/10 of a second. Ogwin misses out by a 10th. Carsey onto the front row. That's huge for BRT. What a lap at the dying end of the session from both drivers. And that's it. They've got a front row lockout. Their first race leading the championship this season. What a time to bring out your best laps in difficult conditions.
Wowee. Is all you've got to say to that one there. Look how close it is. Top 4. Separated about a 10th and a half. In wet conditions as well. That was right close to the end there. Mr. O'Green gets himself in P3. If you want to give us the rundown, Joseph. Wow.
Well, I'd love to. Well, BRT, there's confirmation of your front row lockout. Ogwin again, just in behind the two of them, with FRT in 4th and 5th. An outstanding couple of laps from those two as well. It's almost Noah's Ark. If Ogwin just got out of the way, it's Shazoo in 6th and 7th. It's Fantabasi, a brilliant 8th for ETE. Nico in his 7th consecutive appearance in P9. TTM Placky gambled on the wet, stays 10th. And then here are your bottom 10, rounded out by Jack L, who had a qualifying ban. But I think for Lucas there in P15, he'd argue that he got the timing all wrong there.
Well, I can see it's a rainy start, as predicted. Is it going to be Inters? I can see some Inter tyres in the garage. If you click on Race Director, it also does look like it's Inters as well.
Yeah, I think the rain is not heavy enough. I heard full wet, and I thought, okay, it's going to be wet to winters to slicks, but no, approximate weather. It's never entirely accurate, so I mean, it's the whole point of it, isn't it? But I still like this. A majority Inters race. There's got to be a pit stop in the middle of it, surely. 2 sets of Inters.
I know, Inters can usually go to the end on some tracks. I don't know if it's this track. There'll be someone out there that knows the answer to that. But apparently it's going to clear up around 40 minutes into the race, which will probably be, what, around the last 10 laps or so? Give or take?
Yeah. 5 to 10 laps, I'd say. But again, it could fall anywhere. Ismail asking who got pole. It was Furious. If he wins from pole, like I said, would make AEC history, becoming the first ever driver to win 4 consecutive races. A ridiculous feat if he pulls it off, but we saw what happened to Rusty when he was on for 4 in a row. Spinning, final lap, Ascari chicane.
I believe, was I in comms with you that race?
You might.
I think it was. Might have been. I can't remember. I do remember it happening. I think it was. No, I think, yeah, it was. That was a bonkers race. But yeah, Mr. Furious, former Tier 2 driver, by the way, can we just say that? He was in the Bunga Academy. You know, I'm not going to say anything fishy was going on down there, but get in the office, mate.
Retrospective action. It's going to be taken against them. Yeah, I reckon it should be a 50-point deduction. We make this championship interesting
No,
again.
I'll just take away the Tier 2 title. Oh, wait, they never won it! Sorry.
The BRT violation. Finbob requests a fact. What have I got? I've got nothing left.
I've got one.
You've got one. Go for it.
Yeah. The time in Lisbon is currently 8:25 p.m. 8:26 p.m. There you go.
Incredible. Wait, really?
Well, that's what it says on me current time in Lisbon, so I'm not wrong. That
I
means
didn't
that's
know they
wrong.
used the same time zone as us,
I think
considering
they do. Hang on. Lisbon
Spain is an
time
hour
right now.
ahead, and Spain is more east.
No, it's 2026. It's a bang on same time as us, yeah.
Apparently, we're starting in 10 seconds, so I will take the keys for
Yeah, I will be
round 9.
the eyes in the skies, looking at everything that goes on behind you.
Well, it's only rain you can see at the moment, but BRT have the front row all to themselves. But can they convert it and extend their championship lead? Well, we'll find out as they're underway here in Portugal, with Furious making a terrific start, and he's well clear of his teammate, who's actually under pressure from Ogwin. Be a crucial move if he can go around the outside. Contact there, with Nico being pinched on the inside. Shazoo Venom goes through as they all bunched up there. Harvey now looking to go around the outside. Cars all over the road. We've got Easton and Sam off in the background. Jackel maybe got involved with that as well, but rounding turn 4 then for the first time, once again in treacherous conditions, and down in towards 5. Shazoo Venom once again looking to make a move. David has got a 5-second time penalty, and it's another Williams going down the inside of an AlphaTauri. This time it's Boberts on Harvey, and there's David as well on Nico as well. Side-by-side action coming out of the hairpin, be a bit of a pinch on the inside of 6, and then potentially around the outside of turn 7. A brilliant switchback move to go around the outside, down the inside into turn 8. Bit of wheel banging, bit of a slide on the exit as well, but sensational wheel-to-wheel racing between Nico and David. Up towards turn 10 they go, and into the right of 11, still not giving each other an inch, and behind it's 2x2 as well. Slide there for Placky as he looks to recover, but majority through okay. I don't know what I'm saying there.
Here's at the back, Sam and Easton, 2 doesn't go into 1, they went, and it just didn't work out for them. Someone who's had a great start is Mr. Lucas, currently in P8, starting in P15, he's up 7 positions. The biggest loser on lap 1 is Mr. Istvan Tomasi. He is down 7 positions. You've got a couple of Joseph down 3, Placky's down 2. But yeah, Mr. Lucas, absolute stunning start. We've got people happening here, Mr. Gilly, Istvan Tomasi, caught blimey.
Oh, Joseph around the outside into turn 1. It's like I'm commentating on myself. That'd be weird. But anyway, Josh Gilly still down the inside. Another driver that remained on the wet tyres. And they've got to try and recover from this position. Jack L up 5 positions actually into P15 as well. So his fresh pedal era starts tonight, and it's going off to a fairly good start. F1 Nico still wheel to wheel. I don't think he's actually been clear of anybody yet in this race. Finally though, he's ahead of Treyarch momentarily, and into turn 8. Well, there's a bit of a slide there on the inside. Placky looking to now seize the opportunity as well, going down the inside into 9. Blind entrance into turn 10. Oh, a bit of a slide again on the inside there. It'll be a recurring theme, perhaps some dry setups still on these cars, or at least as much of as a hybrid as they can make it out to be.
Yeah, this is good. There was a guy called AMS Luke back in the day. We're talking like 2 years ago, and when it was dry into wet into dry, he used to make a mixed setup. Now, whatever a mixed setup was, I couldn't tell you, but yeah, that's what he used to run. So there'd be a couple of them running mixed setups. As Mr. Luke says. Mr. Trey on the inside of Nico. Once again, Nico battling. He has not had it easy at the start of this race, and he breaks early. Trying to go for a little bit of a switch back if he can, and see if he can dive up the inside. I wouldn't, but Mr. Nico does as well.
Young Nico with one eye on the Ipswich score, perhaps, as they look to chase down Leicester City in the Sky Bet Championship. It took me 3 laps, okay? Sorry. It had to be done. Oh dear, we've got to change at FRT. I don't know if that's an oh dear moment, because it seems a little bit out of sorts, because they've made themselves very vulnerable actually to ESV Bobberts, but perhaps FRT thinking Harvey is our Portimao expert, he's our wet weather expert, he has got everything we need in terms of a perfect package for this race. I think he won 3 different seasons in a row at Portimao in WOR. Something he's very proud of, but he couldn't take home the title. It's no good just winning in Portugal, mate.
Mr. Ogwin getting very close to the back of Carsey here. Obviously, no DRS to play with in these conditions. But yeah, I think he's going to be thinking about it soon, you know. They've got similar ERS, but Ogwin then, through the slower speed corners, was catching up to the back of Carsey with a bit of slipstream. Not going to be getting it this lap, but someone who might be getting it this lap is Lucas. Look at Lucas on the back of Roberts here. He is catching and catching, but once again, he is not close enough for an overtake. But expect it to come in the next lap or two, because he is looking speedy.
Absolutely. I mean, Lucas, who wants a Fanatec.
ERS.
I don't know why I'd bother. ERS, I've been asked. I forgot. I did forget. Who cares? It's the wet. Enjoy the beautiful scenery at the moment. We don't need battery percentages. Maybe we do, because Lucas is using it at the moment. Is he going to go for it? Well, Bobbitt's has gone to the inside. There's contact as Nico turned into the corner there. Lucas on the exit. Almost had 2 of them there, but it was just blocked off by the Williams and the AlphaTauri. There's the run down the inside into turn 7. Bobbitt opens up the door. Wide open for him there. Not sure what that's all about, but still, he's going to keep his nose into turn number 9 and over the top of the hill into turn 10. Lucas has the inside and he's going to have 7th place as well. What's that he's up now? He's up 8 positions. Incredible.
At the back of the field, you've got battling between Red Bull and Mr. Jack. Jack up the inside, and he gets ahead of Joseph. Mr. Isterman is going to try up the inside of Joseph as well. Mr. Joseph and Isterman battling it out for the wooden spoons at the back of the grid at the moment. Yeah, close racing all around, to be honest. And apart from the lap 1 incident between Easton and Sam, talking of Easton, he's going to try it round the outside of Bruder, round the final corner. They're going to go wheel to wheel. Currently 19 and 18, keeping it clean just about. But yeah, apart from that, it's been very clean racing so far.
The Met Office Kiwi has just informed us that there are 10 minutes until the rain concludes. So, they shouldn't need another stop until we get to slick tyres, but it's about getting the tyres right when we do get to that dry period. So, you know, everything we're seeing here in terms of racing, and it has been fantastic, is going to look very, very useless in about 10 minutes, because everyone will go their different ways. And there is a dilemma. There's always a dilemma for when you've got 2 teammates nose to tail, as BRT have at the moment. I think a car has got to go a lap earlier, try and make this work, because, you know, going a lap later could actually be more costly.
Yeah, absolutely. I've said it many times before where the conditions change and there's still a car out there. One of the Bunga Boys will have to go a lap when it's not dry conditions, and that's just the way it is. You'll lose less time there than if you stay out on inters when it is bone dry. So it'll be interesting to see when. I believe it'd probably be Carsey that pits first. He might want to leave Furious on the optimate decision, what Mr. Jeff says. But yeah, when that happens, it'll be very soon, to be honest. The rain has eased off a lot in the past couple of minutes. It'll be very interesting to see how this plays out. Lap 6 of 33.
Yeah, I mean, BRT probably cringing at just talking about their strategy at the moment that could be entirely wrong with what they're planning to do, but we've got racing for P10. Down the inside goes Placky. Treyarch look to make the move into the first corner, but, you know, you go offline in the wet conditions and you leave yourself vulnerable. Here comes Placky. He's using his battery. Likewise, I think, as well for Treyarch, who's only left himself 10%, but into turn number 5. No further moves just yet. I think the drivers have all got the message. 10 minutes until the end of the rain period, and so there's no point taking any risks now. It could be a little bit of a quiet period.
Yeah, it's been quiet for a while, to be honest. Since about lap 1, everyone is now in single file, pretty much, as Mr. Trey, from an absolute country mile back, sends it up the inside of Darwood, and Mr. Darwood's going to have to back out with this one. Surely going to have to back out with this one. No! He's not listening to the stream. He stays in there, sticks his nose up the inside, contact between him and Trey. Placky's the opportunist that he is going to try it around the outside of Trey. Trey now has the inside line. Placky goes very wide, trying to get a good exit if he can. Gets a much better exit because you can't park there, sir.
Oh, he's got it going again, luckily. But, you know, when you think you go onto the grass, It does look to be game over, but Trouty has managed to recover. Really unfortunate for him. Wide there is Josh Gilly, perhaps picking up a warning as you do so when running wide. Joseph Hales with a 3-second time penalty. The only other penalty at the moment is for David for that yellow flag infringement. Drobble says in the chat, fucking hell, what does that say? Yaya Wintersen. I don't even know what that means, but Ogwyn is looking for it. And, he makes contact with Carsey. And that was very close to seeing a BRT driver go around. Nico has cleared Lucas again, though. So, Lucas just having a bit of a stagnant period with regards to his progress as well.
Oh, blimey, that was close between Ogwyn and Carsey there. Thank God they're facing the right way. Oh, it is close racing this, and the rain within a lap or so will be stopping. Ogwyn now is pretty much on the back of Carsey now, and once again Carsey slides through the corner. Ogwyn stays just about out of range from touching his rear end, and he leaves the door open a little bit, but Ogwyn, mate, you can't go up the inside there. And this is going to try and get a good exit and get him on the straight, and I don't think he is. No, not this time around, unless he turns his ERS on.
ERS is on, but is Carsey responding? Yes, he is, because he wants to stay in front of Ogwyn, who's slipstreaming. He's gaining, but will he go to the inside? Forced then to the outside. Good defending from Carsey, parking his car well, and he's now within that sort of crucial 1 second range of Furious as well. Placky and David. David looking for the switchback. Carsey's gone the long way round. David almost, well, he had to think about it there, because going down the inside of turn 2 could have pinched him there a little bit. By the way, scores on the doors. Brendan Rodgers is beating Atletico Madrid.
But yeah, the 2-1. Good deal. So what is happening at the moment? We're on lap 8 of 33. Bunga's still leading the way as Ogwyn is getting close to the back of Carsey, but he just can't get past him.
He can't. It's hard. It's not easy. I mean, I wouldn't say Portugal is known for its real-life overtakes. You know, we're sort of getting that real-life difficulty at the moment. Not that it's been on the calendar since 2021. It hasn't. So it's hard to really judge what the modern Formula 1 cars are capable of, but round to the final corner then for the 8th time. Starting lap 9, and Ogwyn might well go for it again. He's just got to keep prodding and poking at the back of Carsey, looking for his 5th consecutive finish in the top 4, as he's still unable to make the move into the first corner. Jack Ellis cleared Trey RT, who continues to head backwards into this one. That's a simple overtake down the start-finish straight off of the exit of the final corner, but here's Ogwyn's chance, surely. He's rubbing the rear wing of Carsey coming out of turn 4. He defends the Northern Irish when it's Ogwyn to the outside. Can he hold it around there, though? Be very difficult indeed, and if he has done, you have to say, what a move it is from NRX Ogwyn, of NVR now, of course, to get up into P2.
Mr. Trey's gone round, and a couple of drivers have gone past him. Trey's going to try it round the outside of Bruder, but something's going on with Trey. I don't know, his tyres are a bit shot now after that little spin that he had. But yeah, Ogwyn is now in a Bunga sandwich. Carsey was losing a little bit of time to his teammate. Ogwyn's obviously matching Furious at the front, and it'll be interesting to see if Ogwyn can now close onto the back of Furious. With the gap now between Furious and Carsey, they might be thinking that there's a potential that they can pit on the same lap, but 2 seconds, they're probably still double stacked a little bit, wouldn't they?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, still about a second or two to lose out here. Drobble says, what a move. Supporting his team, of course. One-time race winner this season is Drobble. Hoping that Ogwyn can get NVR back on top of the table. There is a little incentive for an NVR win tonight, if I can get it working at the end of the stream. Sadly, we've lost Trey RT, so if you can invite him back, that would be fantastic. But Josh Gilly...
It could be a rage quit.
It could be. Oh, my laptop has might have blue screened. Right, no chat for a bit, but I think we're still alive. I don't know about light stream, but we'll pretend it's still good.
Seems good to me. Lucas, Bobbitt's has just gone past him there, into P8 now. Trey is back in, he didn't rage quit. My apologies. Fury still leading away, 1.7 seconds. He has gained a little bit on Ogween this lap, about 3/10 so far. Carty's hanging on with Ogween, just about. And then the rest of Venom starting to lose a little bit of time. And that rain is still coming down, but it's easing off.
It is indeed. We said about 10 minutes ago, so yeah, maybe it is starting to calm down now. Oh, hello. We might be back on the old light stream. Are we? I think we're alive. Okay, good. But are we on the starting soon screen? I think we might be. 1 second. They can't hear me then.
I think we're good.
Are we good? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, we're good. Sorry, my thing's just playing up, so I don't know what's actually happening.
What is happening is that Mr. Lucas and Blackie... Oh, it is. We're on calendar now. Jez, we're on the calendar.
Oh, we're on the calendar. Oh, God. Well, it's...
Get that off.
Sorry, it's a good... I didn't even touch that, so... Oh, God, this is really slow. Why has it just gone onto the calendar? Nothing's happening. You're not missing anything. I don't know what's going
Just
on.
X light stream off, and then you can just leave it as it is. You don't need to touch it.
Okay,
So
no, I think
just
we're back.
Then you don't press anything.
Are we back? Yeah, we're back. Okay, good. 100% back.
So, happening now. Lap 11 of 33. I don't see any blue skies at the moment. It does look a little bit lighter out there. I'm waiting for that rain to stop because how quickly it dries, as unrealistic as it is, it could be within about a lap or two, and then it becomes bone dry. So Carsey, Ogween, as Nico gets a penalty. Now Ogween is not catching Furious at a rapid rate, if at all. But Carsey's hanging on with Ogween, and then it's Venom, who's about 4 seconds behind now. He is losing time to the front three. But yeah, 10 minutes is definitely up now. Come on, ref.
Our strategy correspondent, BRT Custard Cream, says it looks like everybody will go on to mediums. Yeah, 20 laps. Comfortable, I think. Roughly 20 laps. I mean, it'll be less than that, I think, with the rate. This rain is actually clearing off at the moment. On board with Lucas, as he... perhaps running a fair bit of wing on that car. His progress is, like I said, stagnated. He's lost that position to Bobbitt's once again. And I don't quite know how he will perform going into the dry period. It seemed like he had a very good qualifying car as well. But again, it was just about timing. Oh, Carsey.
Carsey there has gone round on his own. He's just lost the car. He's in a slow speed corner. I think he's locked the tyres or something there. He's not lost the position, but he's lost about 3 seconds to Ogween there. I was just on board with him, and yeah, I think he's just locked the tyres and gone round.
Sign of ageing intermediates? Sign of a drying track? Oh, I think so. We're not there yet with regards to slicks, obviously. It's still raining. The track is still damp, but it's a very challenging transition phase now for these guys. No, they're not on hormones. They are driving F1 cars in conditions that they aren't really meant to be driving in. So, Carsey's got time to make up, but it does mean it will lose less time in the pit stop. So, it's a work of genius.
I mean, yeah, that is true. They can now pit on the same lap, but Venom has now got Carsey in his sights here. 1.1 seconds behind him. Venom was about 4 seconds behind when the incident with Carsey happened. Interesting to see how this plays out now. Venom sliding through the corner this time around, 1 second behind Carsey. Yeah, Carsey, he seems to be struggling a little bit as Venom is catching him now. Cool, blimey.
Yeah, he is. And Carsey will think twice before breaking into turn 5. I think any driver will just be a bit cautious, having had a spin. Plachy on the back of Lucas. These two have made remarkable progress, as we've mentioned before. I mean, Placky's only up 1 position, but it feels like he's done a lot more in this race than just be going from 10th to 9th. At least that's what I think. Anyway, Josh Gilly has certainly made some progress. He's up 5 positions as well. So whichever way you look at it, the TTM boys are doing a good recovery job in this one, but can he clear NVR Lucas? That'd be a crucial move. Two drivers running at very similar paces right now, it has to be said. A 2.1 second lead, however, for PR Furious, who was not phased by NRX Ogween's overtake on his teammate. He stays out for another lap. The rain's still falling very, very gently, and could this be the lap where we start to see it stop and we start to see the dices rolled?
Still a little bit of spray out there for now, but yeah, in the next couple of laps it is trickling still. But yeah, lap 15, 16, you'd expect it to be mediums. I don't think it's long enough. Mr. Placky now on the back of Lucas might send one here. He's been taking a few aggressive lines. I've been watching him for a little bit now. Don't know if he's trying to force a mistake out of Lucas or what, which will be interesting to see. But Venom now right on the back of Carsey as well. There's not been many overtakes in the past few laps, but drivers are going to be eyeing up a pit stop in the next lap or two, you'd expect.
Still raining. It's just not going, is it? It's tough for these drivers who certainly want a set of slicks and a drying track to really demonstrate their full potential. Bourbon asking Kiwi if Carsey's tyres have overheated, because this is quite a significant pace drop off now, never mind the spin. But yeah, one spin could be just enough really to set the tyres alight. It won't be getting any better as the track sort of heats up and dries out. No real threat of an overtake in this field at the moment, so again, it's back to what I was saying with it's just a little bit dull while we wait for the dry period, but hang in with us. I promise this is going to be a brilliant finish or second half to the race.
Yeah, the rain has now stopped. How quickly it dries up will be interesting to see. The one thing that always gets me is the dry line always comes in first, and then everywhere else just goes dry within a lap. It's miraculous, absolutely miraculous. FRT are going to suffer. Well, I say suffer. It depends when they pit, but they are going to definitely double stack. Possibly. Now Bunga, I think they're just okay. 6 seconds, that'll be more than enough if they want to pit on the same lap. ETE will also have a problem. AERT will have a problem as well. But yeah, Bunga just okay, I think.
Just okay. 6.4. The gap between the two teammates, 1 and 3 at the moment. That's exactly where they finished in Monza, of course. But sub in Aiden Hurt instead of Micah Carsey. Sorry, that was rude of me. But if there's an opportunity, I take it to take the piss out of somebody. That's how it works.
So with the teams out the front, you've got two ways to do this. Do you be one of the ones that go first, and then you come out probably in a little bit of traffic, and then you'll have to maybe overtake a couple of drivers, or do you wait for everyone else to pit and then you go? I mean, Furious doesn't need to take any risk. Ogween might try it, but I don't think he will. It depends really. Ogween could get close to the back of Furious if he times it correctly. It's interesting. I know it's everyone's going to come in exactly 1 or 2 laps, but it's big. It's a big call, this.
It is a big call. I mean, mediums is the obvious shout. I mean, if anybody goes different, yeah, you do that, mate. But yeah, I don't see how this won't just be a very simple yet chaotic transition. We're going to have the best of both worlds. It's going to be chaos in the pit lane. It's going to be chaos on the out lap. Those drivers potentially stay out for an additional lap. But yeah, there's I mean, it's all to play for. That's all that needs to be said at this stage. If you're just tuning in, BRT, the Alfa Romeo team, leads the championship by 2 points over NVR, the team, the Aston Martins. That's because Nick was deducted 3 points, and thus his team suffer as well. For an instant, they would have led the championship going into this round, but as it stands, BRT would still extend this anyway, and would have taken the championship lead regardless. So, never mind hindsight. The now is that BRT have to get this right.
Got a yellow.
Ooh.
And that is Trey, and you can't park there, sir. He's gone round again. I was just looking. Do you know how long the pit is around here?
Not exactly. I
Because there's a
don't.
potential here that Furious and Ogween, when they come in, they could come out behind the likes of Nico, Simbarracks, Jack, maybe Easton if one of them don't pit. So if it's about 20 seconds and Nico, Simbarracks and Jack don't pit, there might be a bit of traffic to deal with on their outlaps, which will be interesting. But it's still wet out there for now.
No, I don't have an exact time on me, so yeah, I mean something around 20 seconds. It's a fairly standard pit lane, 50-mile-an-hour speed limit, so it's not a long pit lane by any means. But on a track that was built to resemble the old Nürburgring and Spa with its undulating corners, its elevation change, has certainly produced the best of what their weather has to offer. Hopefully we'll see some sunshine soon, but will we see any pit stops? No, we don't, and we're on to the 18th lap on the same set of intermediates that everybody started the race with. It's getting scary out there, that's for sure. Just not quite ready for slick tyres. The track can still be greasy, have this spray kicking up. Hello. It's David's. And remember, there's a 5-second penalty to be served here because he ignored yellow flags. So he's going to have to take the pain, and he knows that, so he's pit early. No, they're inters! No! No! No.
Does he know something we don't?
It's not more rain. That's not
that
possible.
Could be the only, that literally can be the only reason.
Unless his tyres were about to go pop. I mean, no one else has reported any tyre wear issues. But no, that's a really bad mistake.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Yeah, it's an interesting one. We'll see how that plays out for him. The gap at the top, Furious and Ogween, the closest it's been, I want to say it was about 1.7. But that has grown a little bit. 2.4 the gap at the moment. Carsey's caught Ogween a little bit in the past few laps. He's pulled away from Venom. That is now 1.5 seconds. Maybe Ogween's just staying out till the dries and have a go then. But yeah, that gap at the top.
Hang on.
Oh, hello.
Bobbitt's is in. And if he goes intermediates, Smeggy's just said, I don't think he's going to dry up. Yeah, it's going to dry up, sorry. Zach says trust the process. These guys think that this track is going to stay as it is until the end of the race. That is possible on the F1 games, but what's the tyre of choice? Inters! More Inters for Bobbitt! It's deliberate. It's deliberate!
So yeah, there you go. Is it a potential one-stopper on the cards then? Probably not. With people pitting now. But yeah, intermediate tyres again. Now on some tracks, it dries up within about 2 laps. It's been stopped raining now for about 5 or 6, so yeah, maybe they're right. Maybe they are right, but I want to see someone go for a one-stop. I know that's probably not possible, but you know, it's content. It'll be funny.
Kiwi says track's drying. Now, they're either all trying to throw me off, or Shazoo and TF10 have got this wrong. Very wrong. Fury stays out. Starts lap 20. Ogween's in. Ogween is in for Novus Racing. The call has been made from one of our top 2 in the championship. We've got a Haas around on old intermediate tyres. That's Trey RT, of course. But what tyres is it? Crucially, for Ogween, Inters. Intermediate tyres go on. That's the biggest call of the lot.
Interesting, this is very interesting. That was almost a VSC, that. Trey was parked sideways there. If that would have been a VSC, whilst Ogween was in the pits, call blimey, Ogween would be P1 after everyone else had pit. This is interesting because no one is coming in for dry tyres. But it's not dry enough. That is the reason. But surely you wait until it does. But then some people like it's not going to. This is very interesting. I didn't have this on my bingo card today.
I didn't. It's a fastest lap for the Polish driver David, who did bolt on the intermediate tyres, a fresh set, before anybody else. The BRT respond. They think the track is going to dry up soonish, possibly. They cannot go to the end of the race. They've got to make a decision. Do they react to what is clearly the quicker tyre at the moment, the new intermediate, or do they stay out and risk everything? Furious is into the pit lane at the end of lap 20. Comes into the pits very cautiously, as he should, considering these conditions. Exotic says it's not going to dry.
Yeah. I think they've been backed into a corner here, Bunga. I think Bunga had no choice. They literally had no choice. They are racing NVR, and they had, they've got a dead of 1-3. They have no choice but to copy their strategy there. They can't risk staying out, and they literally had to come in. And there you go then. Is Ogwin about to undercut, and I think he is.
Yeah.
And he's ahead of Furious.
Oh.
So it was an absolute genius strategy call to bring him in a lap earlier for the Inters. That's paid off. Bunga had no choice but to pit Furious there.
This is phenomenal. I love races like this. I absolutely love them because there's initiative, there's strategy, there's communication. Everything goes into this. And when the title is so close, you have to get it right. BRT just caught out there by a lap. I know that Lucas has gone in as well. May well jump a few who have chosen to stay out. We've still got our top 6 still staying out there at the moment. Do they do something different with Carsey? Or do they suck it up, come into the pit lane and just not take the risk in such a tight-knit championship? Well, we'll see as he rounds the final corner for the 21st time of 33. And he's in. They've got to box him. They don't think it's going to dry up.
Yeah. They had no choice. They had to copy what they did there at NVR. I think FRT are just going to hope and pray and see what happens down at their camp. But yeah, Furious and Ogwin switch positions. 1.7 seconds a gap now between them two. There's a lot of drivers still out there that have not pit yet that probably think it's going to dry up. But according to everyone else, it is not going to do so. With 11 laps to go, are we potentially going to see someone go for a one-stopper here? Furious at the moment is 12 seconds behind the leaders. Ogwin 10 seconds. I mean, that'll be whittled down very quickly indeed.
And Venom has got Carsey as well. A lap undercut. And Shazoo are up into a net 3rd and 4th. That is outstanding. And I doubted Bobbitt's as well when he came in. Bolero Fox says the drivers are trolling. And his team are standing 1 and 2 at the moment. Did you see what I did there with the standing? But
yeah, I did. I did. That's good, Dan. No, that's good, Dan. Really, Dan. That's good. Nico Harvey currently sat in 1-2. That probably wasn't on my bingo card. And do you know what? This strategy call and all that might have just thrown Furious from winning 4 in a row because he had it under control.
I think he still gains. Honestly, I think he still gains this. It's not a big gap at all, I should say. Let's go on to the... Well, Ogwin, I should say. And then, depending what happens with the traffic, Furious could still take it. That's what I mean here. But a few laps...
Car round again.
We can't even see him on the... Oh, there he is. Oh, dear, Trey. Next time, eh?
So, Mr. Ogwin is soon going to be on the back of Josh Gilly here. Look at that. FRT 1-2, TTM 3-4. Wowee.
I like this. Smeggy's asking Noah how cooked the tyres are. Do they want to disclose that? I don't know. It'd be great for us to know, but... yeah, this is sensational. AERT brother. Can't tell if he's from South London or Germany. He is from Germany, I think. But you never know. 14th, hasn't pit yet. Difficult road to the finish. 80% minimum is the word. 65 says Kiwi. I mean, nobody has a clue at this stage. Lucas, good move there on Sam. But, yeah, there was a massive 20 lap difference in tyre tax there.
Here goes Ogween then. Ogween
Oh,
on
Harvey's
the back
in.
as Harvey comes into the pits. Ogween is going to get himself ahead of Gilly, or is he? Hang on a second, Mr. Gilly holding out here, and Furious is now right on the back as well. Ogween down the inside, should have it sewn up, does have it sewn up. And I tell you what, this race reminds me of when Hamilton had interslicks as Furious. Oh no, you can't park there. Oh, Gilly, mate, as Furious goes down the inside, Gilly's sliding sideways.
Oh dear. Oh, another attempt from Venom. Almost a similar sort of thing happening there as Venom tries to go down the inside of Carsey. These two have had a great battle for the last few laps, but, well, there you go. And Furious is almost within a second of Ogween. Next up, another TTM car of Placky. Classic back markers. Yeah.
Yellow flags. It's Bruder and Nico. They've come wheel to wheel, and we have still not had a VSC or anything so far. Nico leading the way, 9 laps to go. Yeah, what race was it? Someone will know, Joseph. You might know yourself. When Hamilton had interslicks, remember that? I think it was Hungary.
Turkey.
Might have not been Hungary.
Turkey 20.
That's the one. Yes,
Yep.
correct. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that.
It does. I completely agree with you. Here's Ogween on Placky, by the way. Sorry, Furious on Placky, I should say. Ogween's long got him. I should have been a little bit more aware of that one. But Ogween is now going for the race lead on FRT Nico to the right-hand side. And he's going to have it. By the time he gets to the first corner, Placky's trying to fight this one back on Furious, of which he has every right to do so. But the grip is too extreme around the outside. Here's another move coming for Carsey. It's our third different overtake that we've just seen consecutively into the first corner. Oh my word, they went side by side into there, and they continue their race on in towards turn 3 now as well. Venom looking to do the switch back, and he is unable to do so. Big move there from Carsey, but I don't think it will last too long as back comes Venom in the slipstream. Which way will he go? He's going to the inside! There was no way a gap there, but he's managed to make it work. It's Fantomasi. He's out in the pit lane, so that won't cause anything. His gamble has not paid off. I think he's had some issues as well. Venom and Carsey have once again swapped positions. Carsey into 6th and stays there.
Venom is not going to be on the Bonga Christmas card list, let me tell you that for free. Carsey is now into P6. Placky and Nico still yet to pit. They are the two Sam as well. Also not pit as Trey comes in after having a few spins. He might even get lapped. He might be lucky, he might get away with it. Nico with a penalty, and that's going to knock him down a couple of positions. But yeah, this is interesting now. Furious, 8 laps to go, 1.8 seconds. That might be too much of a gap.
It might be. Nico and Placky both in. They can't take those tyres any further, they think. How bad is Furious damage is the word that's now being said. I couldn't tell you for sure. The front wing looks intact, but I mean, I think the pace will be a big indicator. It's minor, but still slow. Is that Furious's quest for 4 race wins in a row? Something that no driver has ever done before, coming to a pretty sad end, really, considering how much he was dominating this race. Ogween got him under the undercut. That's fair game, but then the back markers, well, I say the back markers, the midfield pack that were yet to pit were just getting in the way.
I mean, Furious is catching Ogween here, so I don't know if they're bluffing here. But he's taken about 4 tenths out of him this lap so far. So I don't know if they're bluffing. But he is definitely catching him this lap.
He's about to prove me wrong, and I love it. Yeah. Bobbert's struggling, may I add as well. Carsey is now on the back of him. Just went 3 laps earlier than him. And thus there is going to be a bit of an offset here. Here comes car seat, round to the final corner. How much ERS has Bobbitt's got in comparison? He's got more, so he's burning and he's going to try and defend this one as we start lap 27. We've got 7 laps to go until the end of this one, and car seat won't get it into the first corner, but the first sector is very, very inviting for any driver that wants to make a move. Forces Bobbert slightly defensive. We'll focus on the exit here, Carsey, for turn 3 and then turn 4 as well. And then maybe look to send it up the inside into 5. But again, I just don't think he's quite got it in him at the moment.
I mean, Ogwin must have the same damage that Fioris has got, if not worse. Because Fioris is catching Ogwin at a rapid rate here. Took 5.5 tenths out of him on the last lap. He's already taken 3 to 4 tenths out of him on this lap so far, and they've still got a sector to go. So Furious here, with 6 laps to go, is going to be all over Ogwin. There's this battling in the midfield between Nico and Easton. But keep an eye on the lead here, because Furious is coming for Ogwin.
That was an issue there for Sam. He just lost a couple of positions, and he is so slow going into turn 8. Placky, who's only just come into the pit lane, has him for 3 meals a day for 7 days of the week there. Another spin. I'm not even going to tell you who it is. Oh, it's Trey. Anyway, what a howler he sounds. I think he's been around every 3 laps at the moment.
He's going to
It's just one of those days.
Yeah,
just one
5
of those
seconds
days.
and retire. There
Yep.
we go.
Oh dear.
And he's left.
Minute silence,
Early
I
shower.
reckon.
Early shower.
Get that thing off the road. Oh dear. Oh dear. Anywho, Furious within 8 tenths of Ogwin. This was the fight that we had last week, and it's the fight we may well have again. These two are slowly becoming AEC heritage, and I love that. I very much love it.
I mean, Furious is going for history here. Yeah, I wonder where like a prime Rusty would, prime Rusty F122 would fare in this little battle. Yeah, or like an FRA Elite 21. Where would they where would they all stack up?
God.
Just the Gilly gets himself a penalty. If you look at the penalties, I'm not going to say it's a skill gap or anything, but you know what I mean. If you
They're
look at
quite concentrated. Jack L being
yeah,
an
the rear
outlier,
of
but
the
it doesn't
field,
even
yeah,
matter.
You know what I mean? So Carty
dear.
closing to Bobbert, Furious closing to Ogwin. We're going to have a good end to this race, lads.
We are, and here's FRT Nico. Support for him in the live chat from Gizmo, and he's looking to make a move and pounce into P10, and that's a great move down the inside there at the penultimate corner. I'll tell you what, he's got P9 still on the cards, potentially P8 depending on how good his pace is, and Harvey and Lucas going side by side into the first corner. Some great racing between the two of them. Harvey in front and into 6th, trying to hold on for a podium, potentially staying out until the end, waiting for the slicks. Wasn't quite to work, but you know, still pitting late isn't a bad thing because they have got very good pace until the end of the race. Here's Carsey, by the way, on Bobberts. Don't think I was missing this one. And again, Carsey backs out for the time being. 10.7 the gap between Bobberts and Carsey's teammate Furious.
So Darwin and Nico switch positions. Also Placky trying to get his nose in the mixer. Darwin now is the inside line, but is going to back out of this one and does. And he's on a little bit wide for the right corner, but back on board with Furious. He's not harvested at all. He's got 14%. And you look at Ogwin, he's got a lot to play with here. And that might just be enough to keep him ahead come the end of this race.
Indeed. 4 laps to go. 4 seriously tense laps. And Furious is on the overtake button. But nothing's happening because he's got nothing left. Don't say the line.
There's a word that... Sorry, Jack. Just when that happens, Loveland said it's like burning marbles or something like that. I don't know what he meant by it, but something like that, yeah. Basically, you're burning nothing. You're using nothing. So. Anyway, back to you.
Environmentally friendly, my arse. Anyway, here goes Carsey. And he's got Bobberts. And he's back up into the podium position. Well, it looked on at the start of the race. He had the spin. Became vulnerable again. And then was ultimately undercut. Oh, Bobberts. Well, that is a driver error. braking and then taking himself off the track before he even reached turn 5. So, might well be grounds to appeal, but I'm sure if he only loses the position to Venom, then they won't be too bothered. But it does mean that Bobter's got to stay close to car seat, use his pace.
This is going to be interesting here, Joseph. Can Furious get ahead? He just doesn't have the ERS. He's catching him all the way through the track. And then it gets to the straight, and he's never going to get an overtake on Ogween down the straight with the battery that Ogween has at the moment, which is about 60% more than what Furious has. Once again, he's down to 0%. He's burning absolutely nothing. He's gaining on the straight, but yeah, you're just not going to get it done with so little battery.
Indeed. I mean, I'm going to wait until the last lap because that's all it was last week. But this time, they've not got DRS, so you'd think Furious needs to pack it in with this burning, but, you know, he's using everything he's got, so he is with Ogween. It is really the only way he's going to be able to overtake rather than just sit back and harvest, because Ogween's got all the battery in the world. If he sees Furious starting to save, to back off, Ogween will just go for it. There are some very good mind games going on here. This has been fantastic, start to finish, strategically, psychologically, what was I even saying? Psychology.
Psychologically, that one.
I do the subject, I should be able, psychologically, that's the one. God.
Good effort. 10 out of 10 for effort.
It's because the whole ecology thing for half. Yeah.
That's the one, ecologically. There you go. So Furious once again come around the final corner. It's going to be tough for him to win the race from here without a mistake from Ogween, to be honest. It's going to be tough. That strategy call to pit a lap earlier has helped them out. However, with Lucas being in P7, they are going to lose out on the day as it stands, but not that bad because, you know, Ogween had a good little pit strategy there to come in a lap earlier and he jumped Furious like so.
FRT Nico fan club, back on your feet please. Here he comes on TTM Black. He's tried once, he'll try twice, and he's got it into turn 1. Will Placky fight around the outside? No, he won't. And Smeggy's taking all the praise because he said that it wasn't going to dry up, and miraculously, I don't know why the game does this sometimes, but it just hasn't. It has just been a river.
Yeah, it's interesting because it probably is realistic the way it hasn't, and I kind of said the game wasn't realistic, so I had to eat your words on that one. But I have seen it sometimes where it dries up in a few laps, and then yeah, everyone knew that it wasn't going to dry up. Interesting note, Furious has got 1 lap to go. Yellow flags for who's that? Is that Mr. Nico who comes into the pits, trying to go for fastest lap, which he won't get because he's out in the points. This is Ogween's race now.
Rumour has it Half went long on the tyres in an attempt to save a set of rubber. Poor Half. I'm sure he doesn't care about single-use tyres in the F1 game. He might do. It might just be, you know, muscle memory. Don't waste the tyres. But that's another debate. It's the final lap of the race, by the way, and I wasn't getting my hopes up too much because Furious might well be done and dusted here. And you have to say, it's been a phenomenal effort from him. Ogween, though, and NVR, that undercut, so vital. Might have had a little bit of a stroke of luck with Furious's contact, but Ogween has had to do nothing more than just sit and defend this one. And he's done so brilliantly. A flawless performance. A sector and a bit to go. And finally, it is looking like that BRT win streak is going to end, and NVR will have an opportunity to close in. I'll do the maths at the end of the stream because we've got penalties still to be applied here, but with 2 more corners to go, Ogween, who is yet to win a race this season, He's finished in the top 4 on 4 separate occasions. Rounds the final corner now, and we'll see the checkered flag. And it is Supernova's back on top in Portimao. Ogwin has done it. That's a sensational victory, and Furious takes his 4th podium finish in a row. It's not quite victory, and he's unable to make history. But BRT, regardless, have 2 cars on the podium, and I think that's all will matter. Oh, has Harvey got Venom? No, he hasn't. It was so close. 0.085. Roberts a further 0.09 when you apply the penalties. NVR Lucas stays 7th, and thus I think BRT still pull away.
That is very close between Bobbitt and Venom and Harvey there. Look how close that is.
Very good.
Super close. So yeah, I believe Bonga will come out on top of that race. But yeah, the strategy call to come in for Ogwin, well played there. Bonga didn't have a choice but to copy them. If they'd have stayed out any longer, God knows where they'd finished. They had no choice to pits, and they came out. And yeah, it's hard to say if Furious didn't have that contact, would he have won? The answer's probably no. He'd have still been stuck behind Ogwin. It's hard to say, but I'd probably say no if he didn't have the contact. But who knows? We'll never know.
We won't ever know. But I have the news, provisional news. BRT pull away from NVR by an additional 5 points. So that is
that
now
including the pole time as well?
Yes. It is.
Who got fastest lap? That
Placky,
was Nico.
I think. Or Nico? Placky or
Yeah,
Nico?
Nico,
I can't
yeah.
remember. For me, it's Placky.
Nico 23 flat.
Hey?
I'll screenshot it.
For me, it says 24-4, so...
Go race director, check Nico then. 16th.
Oh, FR... Oh, different Nico. There's 2 Nicos. Right, okay. Okay.
I
Yeah,
am
you're
correct,
right.
yes. Yeah, thank you.
Sorry. Well, I enjoyed that. Thank you, Tom.
Yeah, very good race with the rain and all that. There's no race next week, lads. Tier 1 tomorrow. Make sure you're tuning in for that. We do have the inaugural managers race next Thursday as well. So make sure you tune in for that one, because that is going to be special. Will be very interesting to see how that plays out. But yeah, Joseph, thank you for having me in, mate. It was good, that.
I'm sorry if you just saw the TikTok come up, but I can't get it to work. I can't get the famous song to play, but in any case, NVR are back on top, but BRT extend their lead. Thank you all very much for watching tonight. Tier 1 tomorrow. Who's that with, Tom? Do you know?
It's me and I don't know. We'll find someone. We'll drag him in.
Find someone.
Yeah,
But-
I'll drag him in.
If you want your assists fixed, you know where to go for that. But take care, guys. That's all I've got to say. And thanks for sticking with us for a bloody brilliant race. Take care then. Bye-bye.